In this video, I'll show you everything there is to know about this wireless portable monitor to hopefully help you decide if this is the right monitor for you. First, I'll show you what's included, and then from there we'll talk about some of the features. And then finally, I'll show you how easy this is to use and demonstrate how to connect to a Nintendo Switch, an Apple iPhone, a Windows PC, as well as a Mac computer. So here's a quick look at what is included with this portable wireless monitor. So you do, of course, get the monitor itself, which you see right here. And then you get some extra cables and the power supply. So you do get two sets of these USB-C to USB-C cables. So you can use these if you don't want to use this wirelessly. You can then connect this via the cables to your devices. You also get this HDMI to mini HDMI cable. And finally, you get the power brick and a set of instructions. Let's go ahead and talk about the features of this monitor. Size-wise, this is 15.6 inches, which in my opinion is the perfect size for a travel monitor. It's big enough to probably provide some extra real estate, but still also small enough to easily slip inside of your backpack or your messenger bag. It's also low profile, so if I show you from the side view, you can see just how thin this really is. It's super thin and sleek. So this is an IPS monitor. It has a resolution of up to 1080p. You can also see that it has a nice matte finish on it, which to me is perfect because I don't like to have glossy monitors because of the glare. So the matte finish on this is really nice. Another really nice feature about this is that it does have a built-in kickstand, so you can prop this up. Also, this has a built-in battery. So what that means is that this can actually last you up to 3.5 hours without it being plugged into a power source. So this truly can be a wireless monitor, meaning you don't need a cable to be plugged into this to provide power if it's charged, and you don't need an HDMI cable or a USB cable to plug into your device if you're using screencasting or mirroring. Also, this does have two USB-C ports as well as one HDMI mini port. Finally, this has an audio jack, but it also does have built-in speakers. So that's just a quick look at some of the features. Next up, we'll take a look at how to connect this to some different devices so you can see how that works. Before I show you some examples of how to connect to this wireless portable monitor, I did want to quickly show you this screen. So this screen turns on when you have Miracast selected. It does provide instructions on how to connect wirelessly to several different devices. So first it tells you to connect and make sure the Wi-Fi is on. Then it gives you instructions on how to connect to a Windows machine, Android, Mac OS, as well as iOS. Also, I did want to point out that if you rotate this screen, you can actually see that the orientation of the monitor also changes on the screen, which is really nice. So that's perfect if you're using this with connected to an iOS device like your iPhone or your iPad. Also over here on the right side of the screen, there's a button that you can push that takes you to a menu. So you can see right here we have options for brightness and contrast and things like that. We have a menu for miscellaneous options, for example, the signal source as well as the volume. You have an option to reset your HDR mode. You have settings for language and transparency. You have options to adjust the color temperature. And then finally, you have the ability to choose the aspect ratio. So as you can see, there's a lot of different settings to definitely tweak and customize the look of this monitor, which is really nice. So next up, I'll show you how to connect this monitor both with cables and wirelessly to a few different devices so you can see what that looks like. So here's an example of connecting to this wireless monitor to a Windows device. So right here I have a mini Windows machine. This is Windows 11. And as you can see, there's nothing plugged into it except for a power cable. There's no HDMI cable or USB cable that's connecting this mini computer to this monitor. So it is connecting wirelessly. All you have to do is go to your Windows settings and select Miracast and then locate this device and connect to it, and you're all set. So you can see how vibrant the colors are. If I go here, you can see I'm going to Google, and it's very responsive. The display is responsive. Just really easy to use and set up with Windows machines. In this example, I'm connecting my Nintendo Switch 2 to the portable monitor, but this time I'm not doing it wirelessly since Nintendo Switches do not support that. Instead, I'm just connecting the HDMI port to the mini HDMI port on this portable monitor using the included cable. And you can see how nicely it works. All you have to do is insert cables to both ends, and this will automatically recognize it. So as you can see, I've got my Nintendo Switch here, which I can now play. Again, you can see how vibrant the colors are. You can hear the little noise in the background because this does have built-in speakers. So this is just a great option for you to have for gaming on the go. In this example, I am connected wirelessly to my MacBook Pro. So my MacBook Pro is actually behind me at my main desk, probably about 5 feet away. And as you can see, there are no cables connected to this at all. No USB cables, no HDMI cables, not even a power cable, so it's completely wireless. Connecting this is pretty simple. All you have to do is go to your settings on your Mac and then choose screen mirroring and then connect to this device. And now you can see my desktop is available. I've got my wireless mouse over here. You can see my mouse moving on the screen. And then I can pull up Safari. I can start browsing the web if I wanted to. See how responsive it is. So it's as simple as that. So that's an example of how you connect this to a Mac device. In this example, I have connected wirelessly from my iPhone, which is an iOS device, to this wireless portable monitor. To connect is pretty simple. On your iPhone, just select screen mirroring, and then you're going to select this portable monitor as a device that you're going to mirror to. And as you can see, I have Google on my phone, and I also have Google on the screen. So if I scroll, you can see how responsive this is. Also, if I rotate my phone, you're going to see it's also going to rotate on the screen on the portable monitor, so you can see just how responsive this is. And then finally, I did want to show you one last feature. If you rotate the monitor, it's also going to rotate to show the aspect ratio that's on your iPhone, which is a really nice feature. So that's just an example of how to connect your iOS device to this wireless portable monitor. So as you can see, if you're looking for a wireless portable monitor, then this is definitely a great option to consider.